Driver number 2 for process optimization are the so-called digital nomads. Could also call them digital natives. Basically, it's about people who are not necessarily working for one employer. They could, but not necessarily. They are also location independent, technology enabled. They work from anywhere. They work remotely. They're more interested in working in purposeful environments. They are interested in working for interesting projects, something that allows them to learn. And especially with Generation Y and now Generation Z that started to enter the workforce, this is going to be a global trend. And it's not just a kind of marginal topic, but it's going to be right in center when it comes to hiring, when it comes to trying to understand how you need to organize work. And as of now, Forrester's estimate about how many digital nomads we have out there, we are estimating about 70 million or so globally, and we see they are growing strongly. Now, what's the relationship between digital nomads or digital natives or the Generation Z and the Generation Y in the workforce and process optimization? And that's because think about the traditional enterprise organization, which is usually siloed, functional silos, it's hierarchical, it's rather static, and it's good for various purposes. However, considering what's going on out there, talking about Generation Z, Generation Y, digital nomads, they have to be productive from day one. They come into a company, usually that's not the company they are going to work for the next decade, so they come in for one project or two projects, also known as a gig, and they need to be productive from day one, which means that they need to understand how the company works, how the company operates, which is about understanding processes end to end. And as most of these companies are not only working with digital nomads, but also working in larger partner ecosystems. So take healthcare, for example. Competitors, pharmaceutical companies competing with each other, they work together as partners in joint efforts, joint projects to minimize the risk, but also to maximize the benefits and to share the risk and to share the benefits. In order to do so, you need to be open from an organizational point of view. So you need to be adapting an outside-in view, which requires that your counterpart, your partner, needs to understand immediately, as soon as possible, how you work, how you operate, what are all the approval steps, what are the local and global variations. They need to understand your processes. When we talk about automation, now so many mundane tasks leveraging all these automation technologies have been removed from people's shoulders, so people can work more creatively. They can work more with these partner ecosystems, but that requires them to understand how they are embedded in the broader working context, which means that looking out into the next couple of years, not only the digital nomads, but also the way companies operate today, especially global companies, they need to understand that process transparency is one of the biggest enablers to be productive and to turn all these people into productive people. So this is absolutely key, which is why we are convinced at Forrester that process optimization will become a critical skill and a critical component for those companies that are going to leverage the new realities when it comes to workforce in a couple of years from now. Very important.